My next stop is the ITC, and I'm here to talk to cartographer Menno-Jan Kraak. Hi Menno-Jan.
Hello.
What a wonderful view.
Yes, a map view.
Always aesthetic to watch.
Yes, certainly.
You are a cartographer? I was wondering, we live in times of Google Maps and satellite photography. What does a cartographer do today?
Well, actually, he or she is very busy. Because even if you would work for Google, you have lots of changes to deal with. Just walk the city or the campus and you see building activities, changing of roads, new houses. And depending on the scale, you can go up. Your land use changes, new borders.
Enough work.
Yes, no worries.
And you have even been the president of the International Cartographic Association, is that right?
Indeed. Okay. That job just finished last summer. And that was a wonderful experience to be able to travel the world and also be in touch with cartographers all over the world, meeting people enthusiastic for maps.
So you even experienced some political influence in science?
Yes, certainly. Not always that nice, because at one time at the United Nations, we were displaying the map, as you can see on the left, which is indicating Morocco. And Morocco thinks that the Western Sahara is theirs, but their neighbors, Algeria, as you can see on the other map, they are not agreeing. And at that time, the ambassador of Algeria approached me and wanted me to remove the whole exhibition.
Are you then the guardian of the borders of the world?
Maybe it's interesting to know that the United Nations also have, let's say, kind of boundary database, but they don't want to give it to anyone because then they choose sites.
Okay.
And that's what they want to avoid. So it's weird. So there are rules and we're not allowed to use them.
We are here now at the ITC. What is your day-to-day job here?
Well, as a scientist, you're busy with teaching students and trying to do research. My personal research interests are related to mapping changes in time. An example, well, we see here a cadastral map. There are, of course, lots of changes in ownership. How do you tell the history of a place? You see a kind of satellite image, which has been interpreted to see what kind of changes have happened over the last 5 years, for instance.
Your expertise was even used by the national news.
Yes, because we always look critical at maps. And then we noticed during the corona crisis that the way information was presented on the website of the Dutch television was wrong, so to say. So we made suggestions how to improve this. And here you can see two examples. On the left, the wrong one. These are the number of positively tested patients. And they just put numbers on the map, and depending on the number, the higher, the darker the red is. But here you can see that in the north and south and west, everywhere, there is something ongoing. So if you are the minister, where do you act? But if you would then map it based on the number of infections per 100,000 inhabitants, for instance, you immediately see that in a certain part of the province of North Brabant, there are big problems. And you might have heard that in the news. So if they would have mapped it like this, they would have immediately seen, hey, here we have to do something.
So you could say that 28 infections in a small village is a lot worse than 200 infections in Amsterdam.
Well, that depends, of course. If you have a hospital in that small village, there is no problem. But if indeed there is no health facilities, then that might be more critical than in Amsterdam, where there are health facilities available.
Saving the world by using maps.
Yes, indeed.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Menno-Jan Kraak.
No, thanks.